how do you guys feel about this being essentially like a, I guess you would call it like a requel, like a remake, but also a
Yeah,
sequel?
so the director said in an interview that the word remake is very operative and it has two meanings. Obviously, remake in the sense of, we're remaking a game from the past, right? Like we're bringing it into the future, but also remake as in it literally is being redone differently.
Like it's a
it's not one to one.
It's a meta name because
yeah,
it's a remake of a game, but also it's Sephiroth fucking doing a new timeline. Sephiroth, like, listen, I lost. I'm not losing again. Watch what I do now.
Yo, when that when the weight of that finally was upon me, and and Aerith is like, you're not right. You're not supposed to exist.
Right.
And I was just like, and I'm like, wait, am I about to fight Sephiroth? That's not supposed to happen.
That's definitely not supposed to happen in Midgar.
And then I was like, wait, so Sephiroth is making a new top. Like Sephiroth knows that he lost.
Yes.
He knows he lost, and he was like, nah.
Yeah,
there's all these theories that they Aerith and the ancients, basically the two ancients in the game, they can see the future, so they already know how it ends normally, and those whispers are kind of aiding and making sure that it goes the way it was supposed to go. For example, there's a part where fucking Barrett gets killed by Sephiroth, basically.
Yeah,
Sephiroth just straight up stabs Barrett in the stomach and wipes him out. Zero diff, and the game goes slow motion because everyone can't believe it. Mm-hmm. And then the whispers just kind of come out and they revive him essentially. But there's a lot of that throughout the game, and I know people had a lot of problems with the whole whispers thing because they come out of nowhere. Like the first time you see him is when you're with Aerith, just walking through the city, and they just spiral around her and shit. And it's like, what the hell is this?
I want to say there is a lot of people, and this frustrated me so much through my experience of the game. So, like I said, I didn't play it myself, but I was there for every stream. Ant streamed it on our channel, and I was pretty much there every single time. So I experienced the whole game that way. And through random people in the comment section, and then also just me seeing people otherwhere, there was a lot other places. There was a lot of people that read. This is one of the reasons why I hate the internet. The internet's great, but I also hate it. They read the script of the game. So the game script got leaked before the game came out. The game script got leaked. And this happens with manga too. People read the leaks of the game before they play it, or read the leaks of the manga before they play it. So it'll be the script of the game, and so they'll read things that happen, oh, this is terrible, this is corny, and they just completely shit on the game. So by the time the game comes out, there's a bunch of people that already have a negative opinion of it because they just read the script. They didn't actually experience it, right? There's a reason why a movie or a video game isn't just words that go past the screen. You know what I mean? When you watch a movie, it's not just the movie script scrolling. It's not the start of Star Wars
opening.
Yeah. It's the script is just one piece of the puzzle that has to be put together. So if you're just reading the script and then judging the quality of the full product off of that, it's really stupid. And there's a lot of people that did that. So for example, when we were experiencing the game and the things with the whispers and all the small changes that they made to flesh out the game, there was people in my chat that I remember were just hating on it over and over. And they kept talking about it. I was like, did you play this game already? They're like, no, I read the script. And I was like, oh. And then I had that whole spiel.
Yeah, because it's what the fuck? If you haven't played the game and experienced it for all the magic that it has, I don't...
But then as they watched us play, they were like, oh, maybe I was... they started to, watch it, and they were still trying to hate. It was funny, because they were like...
It's hard to be wrong.
They were saying, they were going, oh, maybe I was a little wrong. Oh, this is actually better than I thought it was. But they were still, trying to hate, too. And it's dude, just get off it, you know?
If I'm being honest, Final Fantasy VII Remake is probably my favorite Final Fantasy game now.
I've heard that from a lot of people.
Personally, I feel like it is the best Final Fantasy to come out since 10.
I agree with that for sure. That's easy for me to agree with, by the way.
It is easily the most interesting Final Fantasy has been since 10.
Yeah, it's just something it's not even just the nostalgia, because I was thinking about I like the things in the game regardless of knowing the original story. I just enjoy it outside of it.
We have Chris here. And not just Chris, I have multiple other friends that never played FF7 original and played the remake, and all of them also said, this is the best Final Fantasy I've ever played. Now they've played I have a friend specifically that I know played 4, 5, 6, and then 10, 12, and 13 and 15. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Those were the ones they played, and then 7 remake. They're 7 remake is the best Final Fantasy I've ever played. So, and they never played the original 7.
Bonkers.
Yeah, it's not a hot take anymore. Like when I first played it, I was scared because the first week it came out, I took a week off of work to play it, and I had 70 hours in the first week. I had 77 hours to be exact in the first week. I
always see you post those Facebook screenshots.
I do. I posted. Yeah, I posted
100% complete. I'm like,
it was 77 hours in the first week. I 100%ed the game. I've never 100%ed a game in my life. Like I've never. So, okay, I shouldn't say I've never 100%ed a game in my life. I haven't 100%ed a modern game where they actually show you that you 100%ed the game. Like they actually have a percentage of how much you completed it, a play log in Final Fantasy VII that says you got all 9 dresses, you got all the materia possible, you got every summon, you got every possible, and like, you know, all the endings, like everything that you could possibly do. You've seen every conversation secretly with Barret, with Aerith, with Tifa, all like everything. Like that was the first time I've ever done it, and it's because I enjoyed playing it so much that I didn't mind going back to it. And the game encourages you to go back through the game because they have that chapter select after you complete it, which I think is another phenomenal thing about the game. Like you can just kind of jump into any chapter and completely replay it on any mode you want, easy, normal, or hard. And it's completely different when you play it on hard, not only because of the fucking crazy mechanics they put on hard. So hard mode in a lot of other games is like, oh, the enemies hit harder and you do less damage. That's like a hard mode in most games. That's hard mode. In this game, they fucking took away your MP cannot be regenerated once you start a chapter. So you start the chapter like, oh, I have this much MP, and you're stuck with that amount of MP the entire chapter. Also, benches only heal your HP. They do not heal MP. So there's like a lot of things that you also can't use items in battle at all. Like items just do not work on hard mode.
Hard mode is hard.
Jesus
yes,
Christ.
it's actually it's really cool. I was like, holy shit! Like this is, you have to be so selective with when you use a cure spell, because it's like, well, I only have so much MP, and in that game, MP, like characters don't, outside of Aerith, of course, characters don't have a ton of MP, especially Barret, for example, who's one of the best characters to play with. So you have to be very, very careful in how you use your MP, and I don't know, it's just such a cool system that they did to encourage you to go through the game. Normally, New Game Plus is like, okay, we're going to drop you at the beginning of the game again. You're going to have a selection of what you want to keep from the playthrough you already did, and you'll just start from the beginning and have to play through the whole thing that way. This one was like, we're going to give you all, you get to keep all your shit, but you're going to choose whatever chapter you want to go to and replay it again. And that, I don't know, for me, that was just really, really a cool way to do New Game Plus. I like the chapter thing, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Well, especially in a game that's so like story heavy and like cutscene heavy. It's probably the optimal way to approach that.
Yeah, the chapter thing really worked well. I think about in the early chapters, like you guys are going around trying to destroy these reactors, and you come to find out that your bombs aren't even fucking working, and that Shinra themselves are actually just destroying the reactors and blaming it on Avalanche. They kind of changed the tone of Avalanche in the first game is very extremist group that actually succeeded in, bombing these reactors. And then, in the remake, they kind of made it less apparent that these people are basically eco-terrorists that the protagonists are. That is kind of like reality. Like a lot of people speculate that, other governments in the world, I won't say any pointed names, but people speculate that some of the disasters that happen are man-made and that they're created by actual governments against their own people. So Final Fantasy VII was ahead of the time as far as poking, making people look into that type of thing. Like, what if our own government was the ones who actually destroying the planet, not just bad things are happening?
So I'm curious if like the following parts are gonna like really follow up on the eco-terrorism theme and like the like eco-awareness theme, only because like they've really kind of they've introduced like some pretty like wonky shit with the villain knowing that they lost and refusing to lose again. So like I'm curious, and I mean I think it's great. I think it's great that Sephiroth is back and is like, I know exactly what you little fuckers are gonna do, and you're not gonna do it again.
Little fucker sounds like something you really say to me. I don't know why. I think about the end of the Midgar arc in the original game is so cool to me because you go to that place, Calm. I think it's the first village that you kind of stop at, first town, and then you guys have that flashback about Sephiroth. Like Cloud tells you everything he knows about Sephiroth, and you actually get to play as Sephiroth for a little bit. Well, he kind of does everything on his own, but I can't wait at the thought of that in the remake. Like that part where y'all go to that first town, Calm, and you essentially see how broken he is. Like while he is the strongest soldier that has ever existed, and just him actually is a good guy, because at the time he was fine, right? Before he knew his own origins, he was just soldier. He listened to his orders. He was ridiculously stronger than everyone else, but never wielded it for anything bad. And then I just want to see how they're going to do that, because I don't even know where episode 2 of this whole thing is going to stop. Like, where is the stopping point? It's so interesting just to think about. Like, I think about the gold saucer. Such a big part of the original game. One of the coolest parts of the original game.
That's going to be huge in the remake.
Oh my God, it's going to be big, Kenny. Like, that part of the game is going to be so... Just the way they did Wall Market. Wall Market in the remake is huge.
Yeah,
I got lost in Wall Market. I would literally get lost. I'd be like, where am I? Freaking get me out.
I open my map a lot. When I played through the game, if I was streaming it, my chat would have been like, yo, you're in the map all the time. Like, dog, I'm lost.
Listen,
I am genuinely lost.
Chat is always hating. Like, Ant was looking for, Ant plays a lot of RPGs, right? So you're used to looking through all the little crevices to try to find things.
Every single one.
So there's a part, like 30 hours of the game, where somebody in chat was like, Ant, stop face scraping every room you're in. because
oh my God,
Ant would be like up against the fucking wall of every room, just like looking for everything.
At least it's not Dark Souls, it's hitting every pixel on every wall. Thank God.
Look, I was like, I'm gonna get every potion in this.
So Anthony and I, we play Final Fantasy VII Remake the exact same thing, because Gary will watch me go through this is the first reactor when the game starts. And I don't know, like, even though I played the demo, I was like, I don't know if they changed shit since the demo, so I'm gonna scrub. I was running up against walls, like running into, like, as soon as it starts, right? And you go run backwards instead of running forwards. I ran backwards to see if there was anything back there, like, oh, there might be a chest behind me, and there was. Just like in the original. So I really went extremely hard. But then most RPGs, you get a feel for where treasure is going to be, and you don't have to scrub every nook and cranny. Like, once you get a feel like, oh, they only put it here. Like, it'll always only be in this kind of place. It'll never be in such an obscure place. So once you kind of realize that, you can start to back off on the scrubbing every part of a room. But I love scrubbing. I'm a scrubber.
I'm not taking any chances, all right?
Yep.
Also, I just had a lot of fun with, like, the box dynamic physics. I was like kicking around all the boxes. I was like,
yeah, I like that too. I like that you can swing your weapon outside of combat. that is actually pretty fun to do. Yeah.
But the part of the game that I am looking forward to the most, or at least the following parts, is the City of the Ancients, because at the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake, when Cloud and Sephiroth had that conversation, and Sephiroth is like, join me, and I was like, whoa, excuse me? and then, like, Cloud refuses, and he's like, 7 seconds until the end. Time enough for you, perhaps, but what will you do with it? And like, at first I was like, what? I was so blown away by the entire scene that I was like, what? But then when I thought about it, like, 7 seconds is how long it took for Sephiroth to descend through the church and kill Aerith. So that's what he's talking about. So, like, I am curious, like, how much things are going to change. Yeah. Is Aerith going to die, or isn't she?
The fact that there may be a change to the ending of this entire story makes me want to play it so bad.
Yeah, well, I think that's as a product. So just to go back on, like, when you're making something like this and you say, like, a game like this needs a budget that's huge, right? And you have to convince them to let you make this game this expensive looking.
Right.
But at the same time, when you one-to-one remaster a game, people don't really talk about it, because they, like, you talk about it a little, but it kind of fades away, right?
Yeah. Chrono Cross, Final Fantasy VIII remaster, they're just kind of already like, all right, it came out, and like everybody knew about it for a week, and then it's like, okay, that's it.
Yep. No matter how good you make it, there's only so much to talk about, because you've already experienced everything in it. So, like, what is there to?
That is true, actually.
Yeah. If you one-to-one remake something at this level, it fails as a product. So when you're, like, going through it as a business, and it's like, how do it has to change in a way that makes even the people that, like, are hardcore Final Fantasy fans say, like, I have to see the next part.
Yeah.
Like,
even if they're going to hate it and complain the entire time, they still bought it.
And they did such a, like, subtle job of doing it to me, because I was thinking about this in terms of when you're, like, plotting out how you're going to do it and how it'll sell and all that stuff, and, like, showing people higher up your business plan and stuff like that. Like,
even the haters are going to play this game.
Yeah. It does everything right. Like, the things that you love, will be there, but then there's also things to look forward to maybe changing, because, like, stuff is going to be different.
Hey guys, if you like this clip, we have full video versions of our podcast episodes available on the I Am There Patreon, as well as exclusive content.
If you'd like to listen to our full podcast episodes or find us on any other social media platforms, you can do so by clicking the link tree below.